Okay, here you are very exposed. You are in the middle of the street. There is no escape for you if anybody ever shoots you. Anna is missing her projectiles because she sucks at aiming. And there's a Junkrat. I know he was low and you try to get him, but I don't think it would have done much because like at least 2 people at the back. They are really far away. Even if you would have gotten a pick, it would have been good, but it's not worth your death as well. At least not on this point, because they will probably be coming back. And your team is not fast enough to regroup to actually cap the point. So generally, I would not be close to a Junkrat because he can literally one-shot you with 1 mine and 1 left click. There's no time for you to react with your shift or anything. And you can't out-heal it. I don't quite know why you shifted in here. That was rather unnecessary. You were full, like pretty much full health. You were just taking some damage right here, but you weren't low enough to necessarily use your shift. Plus you kind of shifted away from your tanks, and this is too far away to actually reach him. Now you don't have any escape now that Tracer is actually on you. So now you have to run across this place again. Thankfully their Reinhardt was just holding up his shield. Zen was focusing something else apparently. Zarya is kind of far away, but Junkrat was going for you, so you could have taken like those 2 grenades. They could have killed you, because 2 of those are just deadly. I understand why you use your Coalescence. So here I understand that of course you might as well, while you're at it, continue damaging them. In this case, especially now that it's at the end of your Coalescence, I would always go for the healer first rather than the tank. Because the tank is being healed by the Zen, you can see the orb on him. And Zen is the one squishy, non-mobile hero that is easily killed. This shift was again unnecessary, I think. It feels like you just used it because you can, but you didn't need to. You have 3 people behind you, and you were not low. At least you forced the trance, because he was low, so he felt forced to use it. Now you can see that you got graphed. This would be a good moment for you to use your shift, but you already wasted it beforehand. I think you're gonna survive this anyway, because Zarya looks like she has low energy and probably doesn't even know how to one-shot something in her own graph. Yeah, that was bad, because he used his graph and then he had to reload right after that, so there's not gonna be any damage coming out. Plus your shift is gonna be ready again. Okay, that is fine by me that you try to focus the Tracer. As I said, the Hanzo can't really deal with it unless he actually hits a shot, and it has to be a headshot, otherwise she's just gonna recall and heal again. Although I wouldn't really chase a Tracer, especially if she's blinking kind of far away, because you need to keep an eye on your team. And at the same time, while you were going for the Tracer, your Zarya died. It's good that you keep your Rhine alive. He especially used his Shatter just now. They're on the ground so they can't deal that much damage, but it's fine if you just spray him shortly and then try to help with the damage. I would damage Orb here and focus something squishy down. Your Rhine got charged and he's really low, so if possible try to keep him alive as soon as you can, but I think he's gonna die. Shifting away here was fine because you're avoiding damage from a Reinhardt. Anything that is good in close range you just need to stay away from. I wouldn't even bother healing that Pharah. You're a Moira, you are not supposed to be able to reach her at all. So she's none of your concern. If she dies, then she dies. It's Anna's job and not yours. Generally I would also try to always stay close to cover because as you can see they are on the point. And you are staying between here, like, which is pretty much in the open. So if you have a top-down view, here is cover where you can hide behind, here is cover, and they are always gonna shoot out from here, especially if you can see them already. Like this is the brig and there was a Zen as well. This is the spawn where your team is coming from, so you will always push this angle. Staying here in the open is just gonna make you vulnerable because they are in line of sight with you. So either stay here or stay here, or if your team is pushing, just move forward. Here was another moment where it's not always necessary to just use your shift for mobility. You could have just walked there faster as well. Your Rhine is less than half health. At least spray him a little bit. Okay, good, you saw the Rhine charging, so avoid it. I would never walk towards a Junkrat like that in a straight line. Same with a Widowmaker, a Hanzo, or anything that just needs to aim. But Junkrat is generally shooting into your direction already. And if he hits one grenade and one mine, you're dead. And that's probably what happens, exactly. With the Roadhog, always be aware when he has used his hook. You got a couple seconds before he will be able to hook you, and that is also one shot, and you try to avoid that. Standing here is, again, if they're holding on this high ground. If they're holding like straight at the door, and you're standing here, there is a lot of potential for them to shoot you. Standing anywhere here. So it's better to use this pillar and stay here and then peek when you need to. Or you can maybe even bait out the hook and then you'll be safe. So generally can always look out what kind of heroes you have and what kind of heroes your enemy team has. Because Junkrat is only gonna one-shot you if he hits one grenade and one mine. If you stay away from him, you should be able to dodge his things. Bastion, if he would be sitting right here and you stand in the middle here, it would take you too long to get to cover. Unless you have your shift. And he would kill you if he can slightly aim at you. Roadhog can also one-shot you if he hooks you. Mercy's not a threat. Ana can be a threat if she actually sleep darts you. Orisa is less of a threat. The way that Ana is playing, that is your Ana. She should not be going in first. They have bunker down there. First of all, Roadhog can hook, kill, one shot. Their Ana is already shooting her. They both took damage. Bastion, sitting behind the shield. What is Ana gonna do? Like, it's completely unnecessary for a support to even go in like that. So don't do what this guy did. Your Zarya just used her graph. You lost your Tracer at the same time, which is also unfortunate because she could have used her pulse bomb into the graph. But now it's the time to commit. Your tanks have to jump down and actually do something. Ryan, slowly get down there with the shield up. You keep him alive. You might even use your coalescence. Technically, you still have Farah to follow up on the graph. I'm not sure exactly where he is. Okay, Farah is using it kind of late, but it works because Bastion, even out of graph, is still stationary. This coalescence was fine, because if you just wipe them all as soon as possible, you will most likely cap the entire point. But this positioning I don't really like, because your tanks are taking a lot of damage. This Bastion is focusing them. Bastion deals a lot of damage. If you would have positioned yourself more behind the tanks, then you could have healed and damaged them at the same time. You always need to consider or remember that you're a support. So your main thing that you need to do is actually keep your team alive so they can deal the damage and they can do their jobs. Here it feels like you were not sure what to do. Heal your Zarya or damage the Roadhog. Roadhog has 600 HP and he has his Sniffer, I'm pretty sure. Let me see. His healing cooldown is still available. He even had his hook. That would have been dangerous, so I would try to stay further away from him. Your Coalescence has a big range. And he has his heal, which heals 300 HP out of 600. So if he's taking another 100 damage now and he uses a Sniffer, he's gonna be full again. So there's no point for you to get him. Rather keep your Zarya alive because they have the closer respawn. Their respawn is right here. Your respawn is all the way back here and takes much longer to get back. So it's always more important, especially on 2 CP maps, on the second point, that you keep your team alive. Again, I don't feel like you needed to use your shift. Shortly after, Junkrat used his ultimate, which you could have escaped if you timed it right. But now you don't have it. You don't have anything to hide behind. You don't have a shield, you don't have a bubble, you have nothing. So technically he should be killing you. But he's a big fat dum-dum and he exploded his wheel here where nobody is. So I don't know. This is bronze, I guess. Now they even rest the Bastion. That is super dangerous. You are super exposed. Okay, standing here is fine because you are trying to... Or I don't know if that was intentional. intentional, but either way, you are taking cover from this Roadhog who probably has his hook again. Yes, he has his hook, he has everything, so he's dangerous. So standing here is good because you can break the hook and break the line of sight and be safe. But at the same time you're really far away from your team again. They are trying to focus their healer, which is good. But your Zarya is really low, and a nano-boosted Zarya with high energy is dealing more damage than any DPS. It's important to actually keep them alive. Plus your Ana is also kind of low. Maybe you can look around a little bit more and see where your team is and what they're doing. Okay, shifting over there because it's kind of an emergency, like your Zarya is about to die, so you need to heal him fast. So this shift was fine. Keep in mind that your heal heals about over 4 to 5 seconds as far as I know. So if you just tap on your teammates just to get the healing over time effect on them, then go back to zapping them. And then about a couple seconds later you can spray your team again just to keep them alive. Just to get more efficiency out of Moira. There was good focus on the Roadhog because he got shattered, so gotta kill him fast. Mercy just flew right in, so just easy kill. Your Zarya is low at this point, their Bastion is back. Heal the Zarya, because it's important. Moving on defense. This orb didn't hit anything. I think you threw it against the wall, so it just bounces back to you. If you stand on the high ground, because if you know the map, you will know where they come from. You can take this entrance or this entrance. And now with the outlines you know exactly where they are, but if you stand on this high ground, you can throw your orb exactly into this corner here and it will bounce across enemies for more ult charge. You should be getting 5% per ball, per fully depleted ball. But your team is holding on point, so it's good that you retreated as well. Your Junkrat is kind of in danger, but they don't have anything that can snipe him fast enough. They have Junkrat and Reaper, so you should be fine. Reaper is also a threat, just like Junkrat is a short-range character, so stay as far away as possible while still being able, or still being in range to zap him. Technically a Reaper can one-shot you. If he's really close and he hits your head. Your Ryan was really low, but he was also purple, so you couldn't have healed him anyway. Unfortunately he died here, he doesn't have a Zarya anymore to remove the anti-nade. In this case though, keep your Zarya alive because the purple is gone. He's half health, he already used his shift, which is reducing damage by 50%. And their tanks, as you can see in this, they are focusing your Orisa really hard. So keep that one alive as much as you can. You probably should have prioritized healing your tank, because Orisa was already shooting that Reinhardt. So if you would heal the Orisa, then you would be one person up and Orisa can finish him off. Ana missed her sleep dart on you, so zap her down. It's a big pick if you would get her. You did.
I'm on fire.
And thankfully your DPS stayed alive and killed the rest. You see the Moira coming in. That is fine to go for her because she's squishy, that was dumb. Don't be like that Moira and go in by yourself. You can just hold down your right click or like your sucky, it doesn't matter. Since you don't have to reload, you don't have to worry about it. I would spray your Mercy a little bit because the beam went on her and she might die. She already is less than half health. In this case it didn't matter too much because she will regenerate with her passive ability, but generally this could have been dangerous. If that Zarya was any better, she could have just killed the Mercy. I hear the Reaper teleporting behind. I would instantly move away from there, probably take the shield, like I would probably just walk forward, take the shield as cover in case he has his ultimate. In this case he doesn't have it, but you never know, like at this rank especially, how much damage people actually deal. So the ultimate regeneration is super inconsistent here. Either way, Reaper, as I said, in melee range can one-shot you, so I would never recommend being close to him, which means I would use Orisa's shield as protection. Don't even need to shift yet. So you are here, the Reaper just went here with his teleport. I would, because I hear it from behind, would just move forward past the shield. So in case he's following you specifically, he would have to go through the shield first. I would say here exactly, because standing here would expose you with your back to the rest of the enemy team, and you don't want that. In this case, they don't really have anything that could one-shot you from that range, but generally, just to be safe, you have this wall here that protects you, and then you have this shield, so you're like super safe in this like little space. And he ran away because obviously he can't do shit alone. Always be careful when you see a pin coming in, move away from it. That was good, but he got someone else, he got the Rhine, so immediately start healing in, because the pin is dealing like, I think, 300 damage, so a squishy target would die, but he got your Rhine, and your Rhine will survive. So gotta heal him fast, like he's really low. Okay, Mercy was on him as well, that was good. I hear the Rhine, the Reaper teleporting at the back again. Your Orisa's already turned around, so I would again move away from the back, or at least turn around. In this case, they are still pushing from that side. So I would probably take the safer area that would be back here. Move from here where you are back to this location, because they are pushing that side into this area. And your, well, the enemy Reaper apparently went here instead of at the back. But either way, you would be safe from everything standing anywhere here. And you're still close enough to heal your team. Thankfully, he's a fucking big dum-dum. He just goes right into the middle of everyone. He uses shift, that is his only survivability ability. Okay, your coalescence is completely fine here. Your tanks are taking some damage. The Reaper is about to die, or should be dying. Okay, he's dead. Good. You don't always have to push so far forward with your coalescence, because it has pretty long range. If you can try to keep an eye on your team as well, because the most efficiency you can get out of your coalescence is to heal and damage, and not having to choose between the two. What you need to be careful of, if you can manage to track enemy ultimates, especially when you have gotten your ultimate, you can roughly think about, okay, the enemy should also have their ultimates. Their Reinhardt has used no Shatter so far. Their Zarya has used no Graph so far. They already used Coalescence shortly before you did. They still have the Nano. The Reaper should have gotten it by now, but he's so bad that he doesn't manage to get it sooner. And they only just switched to the Torb. So what you need to be careful of is the Shatter and the Graph. You should be trying to save your shift as long as you can, really only use it defensively, and try to use cover as you did here, staying far back. Just keep your tanks alive and try to avoid ultimates. Unfortunately, your Junkrat died up there, your Mercy couldn't heal him. You have kind of short range and it would leave you exposed to move forward. Okay, this Reinhardt is fucking dumb because he had Shatter, but he used it right into a fucking shield. You cannot shatter through the fucking shields, so you are fine. You did shift anyway to avoid it. You didn't need to use it because you already stood here. You could have just walked this way and just stay here. This pillar would have saved you, and then maybe you can use your shift for something else. Now it would be nice to have your shift, because that's a nano booster Ryan and he hurts and he's whacking your face, so you want to get away from there, especially with this Reaper coming in on the right side as well. I would not be this close to a Reaper. I mean, he's bronze, okay? He doesn't aim very well. And especially with this ultimate now ready, because he hasn't used it all game. It's something to be aware of. Unfortunately, well, you had your shift, but you were already really close to him. I would have stepped backwards. Keep zapping him, but step backwards and stay away from him. And maybe if you were out of range of his ultimate, you might have survived and reacted with your shift. Use the protection of your tanks. If you have double shield, utilize it. You know that the Rhine is coming here because you heard him. So be careful. If you know he has his Shatter, be ready to avoid it, because you can actually react to the voice line if you're fast enough. Okay, he charged. You could have walked away from that because you were far enough away, but he might just turn around and use his shatter. Good, Reaper deals a lot of damage to a big target like Bastion, so keep him alive. Your team's being grabbed, so start healing them, because that's usually what people will focus. He's getting charged again, so that means, as you can see, with this one shot, Ryan is less than half health. Okay, you shifted to him, but I would not stay too close to the Ryan, because he can just deal damage to both of you. And he put up his shield, so thankfully that did nothing to you. So to sum it up, important things that you can improve on are not wasting your shift and trying to save it for when you actually need it. Healing your tanks sooner, keeping an eye on your team more often, considering that Moira has a healing over time effect of like a couple seconds. You can always spray everyone a little bit and then keep zapping enemies and then keep tapping a heal on them rather than deciding I'm only gonna heal or only gonna damage. Your coalescence can heal and damage at the same time, so try to be more efficient with that. Get most potential out of it. And stay away from people like Reaper, Junkrat, Ryan, Zarya, those things that can deal a lot of damage to you if you're close up. Other than that, it comes down to experience, getting used to maps, their layouts, what you can use as cover, knowing where they come from, and always keeping an eye on what they actually play. If they have like a Widowmaker or a Hanzo, they can literally one-shot you. So try to stay out of line of sight. Other than that, trying to keep track of enemies' ultimates. It makes it a little easier if you compare them to your own ultimate charge. If you have yours, then they will probably have theirs too. Maybe you can play accordingly, but I can get into more detail in other videos next time. So these are the basics that I would start with, and it's probably gonna help you overall to just get better at Moira. Well, as usual, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.